Hey everybody, it's Christine. Today I have a new Bella Boulevard project, and this is a Christmas countdown. This one is using some wooden blocks that I got from a craft store and decorated with the Santa Squad collection and the various embellishments that come with that. So let's dive into this creation. I have 3 blocks, and this actually came in a little kit to make this kind of project specifically, but I do not think it would be hard to replicate, to find the blocks on your own, or even to make the blocks using cardstock and doing a folding pattern, or even just using cardboard boxes. So that being said, at this point I am cutting up my papers to use on this. Now, I want a wide variety of papers because I don't want any of my blocks to match. So that makes this especially fun as a patterned paper lover because I get to just go wild and use as much of it as I want to. The 6x6 patterned paper pad works especially well for this because the scale is smaller, so the patterns don't overwhelm the whole project. And so I definitely recommend that for something like this, as well as for the advent calendar that I did a few weeks ago. There's something to be said for that smaller scale on things like this. And you can see I'm just cutting. I'm cutting some of the longer ones for the longer wood block, and then I will cut some smaller ones for the smaller one. I am going to adhere these to my block using the ultra strong adhesive runner that goes in the Easy Runner Grand from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. That's going to be my first step in adhering them, and then there will be a second step in a little bit. And this it's a stronger tape runner. I did not want to go down the liquid route yet. I wanted to just start with just getting them on there and making sure I was happy with how they all looked before I got into something more permanent like liquid. So I am playing with that right now, and then that gave me a chance to just really look and see if I was happy with how the patterns were coming together. Now the next thing I'm going to do is play with this for a minute and just figure out how I'm going to get my title on there. I had a lot of options here, but none of them were exactly quite right for the size of this block. In the end, I decided that this acrylic word, although it's a little bit long, would work because it's going to give me the chance to add some embellishments in a little while to my whole piece that extend everything beyond just the squares and the rectangle. So you'll see as I go, but ultimately I decided this was my best option, and I will put that on there with some adhesive dots, also from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. I am not going to put it on there permanently right now though, because I'm going to do another step before I add it. But I wanted you to see how what my approach was, and like that I'm just checking to see right now, does countdown actually fit on there and that kind of stuff. Not sticking anything down too tight though. Now, as I hinted at earlier, I'm going to bring in some liquid adhesive, and this is just some glittery liquid Mod Podge, and all I'm doing is just going over my paper. This is going to do 2 things. Number 1, it's going to secure that paper on there a little more tightly, and number 2, it's going to give everything a glittery layer like a snow globe. And so I really was like excited when I realized, oh, I have glittery Mod Podge and I can like do that. And you can see I like even went over my word count down there to add some glitter to my Florence alphabet letter stickers there. So very fun. Now, with adding this, of course, I have to give it some dry time before I can carry on to finishing, but this definitely added just a nice element to it. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is finish it off, really. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to add these little toy soldiers on here. These are one of my favorite icons in the Santa Squad collection. And as you can see, because I've got Christmas overhanging a little bit there, I can have my soldiers overhanging and too tall. If I had just done that, I think with one of them, it would have been a little more awkward, but because I created the whole front facade that way, I think it worked really well. And I mean, I'm so excited to have these little soldiers on a piece of home decor that will have a prominent place in my house because I just think they're so stinking cute. Now, to create the actual countdown part, again, I debated back and forth what to use here. I could not use anything with dimensions, so wonky alphabets were out. Anything acrylic was out. So it really had to be the Florence alphabets, or I needed to cut something out myself. And of course I wanted to use the Florence alphabets because, hello, time consuming to cut myself, and they're cute. So what I decided to do was to add just a white circle onto the center of each block. And then I am going to add my Florence alphabet on there, as well as a little bit of black detail work using that black pen that you're seeing there. I probably could have gone a little bigger. However, because I had patterned paper on every single block and it wasn't a solid monochromatic look, I think going smaller and adding the white circle worked really well. It kept your eyes focused on the number, because that is, I mean, it's a Christmas countdown, so that's pretty important that you don't lose that within all the patterns and stuff. And so, you know, by adding that white background, it really helped to keep it that way, and I didn't have to battle back and forth between what color sticker I was going to use. Like if I had used a bigger red sticker or bigger red cardstock on some of those papers, it would have just gotten totally lost. So that's why I opted for the Florence alphabets, which just, I mean, if you watch my videos, you know I love Florence alphabets. They have proved to be a staple in my scrapbooking diet. They are just so useful. So you can see, like, I've got those on there and I'm adding that little bit of black detailing. All I'm doing is just adding some dots, some stitching look, just some things to personalize it a little bit more. Nothing fancy and definitely nothing tricky, but a little time consuming because you don't want to go too fast and mess everything up. So you can see I've got that all added on there, and the whole thing has come together absolutely great. This was just a tremendously fun project to do. Now, really quickly, before I wrap this video, I want to show you what some of the different squares look like. So I'm going to just flip through some of these. It's a little bit awkward on camera to do it. It's a little easier to do it when it's standing up and stuff. But it is what it is. You can laugh at me being a little awkward here, but you also can get a sense of what all the different patterned papers look like when they combine together and such. So very fun project. Definitely, if you've got some papers around and you've got access to a craft store, hop out and grab one of these and make one with your kids. What fun it is to put it up on a mantle or a shelf and keep track of just how many days until Christmas Day. Thank you for being here today, and we will see you again next time. Be sure to stop by the Blvd blog and see the pictures of this close up, and hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. Have a great week.